How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's your boy here, Willing&Able here, back with another one. And welcome to my HBCU experience. Today we have Miss Patricia Johnson. Y'all clap it up for her. Clap it up for her. All the way from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. So, Miss Patricia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Greeting everybody. As Will has stated, my name is Patricia Johnson. I am a current junior at Edward University, and I also serve as the Student Government Association student body president.
Okay. And I'm also an alum of the Edward University. Okay, let's get to the questions. So my first question for you today is, what is some advice you can give to somebody who's currently looking at HBCU?
Some advice. Wow. So some advice I would give to somebody looking at HBCU is definitely come. It's a great experience to be surrounded by people who look like you. You're taught by people that look like you. You're supported by people that look like you. And it feels good to not be a minority, but actually a majority. The experience of coming to HBCU is truly one of a kind.
That was one of the reasons that I decided to go to a HBCU, because I went to a HBCU at first, and then I transferred to a PWI, and I just didn't feel the same vibes. It wasn't nothing wrong with the PWI. I love the PWI, to be honest, but it just was, I wanted that hands-on with my own people, and we could relate more. That's the reason why I chose to go back to a HBCU. So I definitely understand what you're saying when you say that. What made you choose Edward University?
So I always tell this story. I didn't really choose Edward University. Edward University chose me. Actually, the summer before I came, so the summer before fall 2020, I had applied to USF in Tampa and I got denied. But my pastor, because I am AME, he wanted me to still go back to school. So he suggested that I apply here, and I applied. And, they took a chance on me and they accepted me. And ever since I've gotten here, I just felt like I wanted to repay my debt. So, I try to be very active and make sure that I pour back into the institution that poured into me.
It kind of like we have a lot in common when it comes to that, because my story is, and many people know this testimony, but I share a little small part of it. When I did transfer to the PWI, I was like depressed. I was down. I was like, man, because there's some stuff that I want to do. Like I want to play in a band. I wanted to pledge a fraternity. And I was like, man, this school ain't got neither one. So I was, taking my chance, and I was like, let me apply to Edward Waters, because I heard the school. I applied when I was a senior, actually, but I forgot about it. And they just didn't accept me at the time. And I ended up, getting accepted this time. And I was like, wow. So when I got here, that's when God really started moving in my life. So definitely, that was a good decision. Your pastor said, by coming to Edward Waters, and it's a Christian school too. So hey, you can't go wrong. Mm-hmm. So what are the room conditions like at Edward Waters University?
The room conditions, they're currently improving. I mean, to be honest, something I've learned is like every HBCU has its issues, but I will honestly say since I've been here, the condition of Edward Waters has been improving. Recently this summer, they've renovated bathrooms, they renovated floors. They're installing new beds, new lighting fixtures. So I just want to say that the room conditions are improving. They're not terrible at all, by far.
That's great, because when I was there, they started improving a little bit there when I was there. So I see it on Instagram sometimes. I'm like, wow, they really doing their thing now. Like they made the building next to the library, they made that into a whole entire another building. I was like, wow, that's cool. And they built a little statue, not statue, but a little I don't know what it's called. Yeah, right beside, the IOTA plot. And I was like, wow, he's really like the President Faison, shout out to him. He's really doing his thing at the school. And I'm just like, wow, he's improving it so much. And, people that work behind the scenes as well, shout out to them as well. They really improving the institution. And that played a big factor into deciding as a kid what school you want to go to. Is the dormitory life. And I
Mhm.
was talking to a kid, I was trying to get him to go to college, and that was the first thing he asked me. He was like, how's Ed Waters dormitory life? And I was just telling him, hey, it's improving, it's much better now. They even improving from when I was there. It done got better. And he was like, wow. So they really made him apply after I told him that. And hey, the rest is history. He might be going there this fall.
That's a
um yeah, so that's a blessing right there. So do you think that family support plays a big part in a child when they go to college?
I want to say to an extent, yes. I'm sure as far as like financially, and maybe just emotionally, but honestly, when you come to college, your family doesn't play as big as a role in your life as before. Like when, especially when you're living on campus, you're
Mm.
surrounded by so many people, and you got to make all these decisions and stuff on your own. But don't get me wrong, I'm sure like when you're stressed and when you're overwhelmed, or if you're getting into like an argument or something with somebody on campus, you always want to be able to vent to your family. And of course, throughout the holiday season and on breaks. So I say it's probably about 50-50, honestly.
Yeah, that's true, because with me personally, I honestly, I had family support, thank God. And it was plenty of times where I felt like leaving school. I ain't gonna lie to you. And my dad, he was like, just stay in there, just stay in there. And I was like,
Get through.
man, yeah, he was like, just stay in there. And the one thing that pushed me was my granddad, because before he died, he told my dad to tell me to finish school. So every time I feel like dropping out, I'd be like, bro, I'm done with this. I want to go to culinary school anyway. And I just remember that, and I'd be like, man, I gotta keep grinding, I gotta keep going. And I did it until I got to that graduation day. And hey, it's still to
That's
this day, it feel unreal. Like I just walk in my house sometime and I see my degree, and I'd be like, wow, I really did it.
that's real. That's real.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, you up next. You up next.
24.
So I thought you graduated next year.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, I was off. Well, you still up next. You touched on this a little bit, but I want you to go more in depth. So, what are some advice you can give freshmen, and what some advice you can give seniors?
My advice that I would give freshmen is not everybody that you start with will be who you end with. And also
Mm,
I would say don't stay in your rooms. Like a lot of people be like, oh, my experience, was crappy or it wasn't the best, but they never left their room. They
mhm.
never got involved. They never joined the organization. As far as seniors, wow. I want to say honestly, this is probably the last time that you'll be able to just chill. The real life is real life. You got bills, you got a house, you got rent, you have real things that you have to worry about. And you'll probably never get this opportunity to just live and kind of just experience life for what it is again.
Right, right. And with the senior advice, I can touch on that a little bit more since I've been there, done that. My advice for those people is to make sure, even I'm gonna take it back to your sophomore year. You need to start doing internships, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later on. But you need to get an internship so you can already have, I don't want to say jobs lined up, but you can figure out what you like and what you do not like. See, me
Mm-hmm.
personally, my class was the class that was kind of affected by COVID. So we didn't have internships. So it kind of screwed us a little bit. But if you was a sophomore and you already was doing that stuff, if COVID would have happened, you was still kind of good. You still figured out, okay, I don't
Yeah.
like this job, I like this job. It's basically like internships is like learning. You learn about the industry and you like, okay, I don't want to be on this side of the industry. I want to be this side of the industry. And you really just gotta just do internships for start. Second, if you plan on, please, y'all listen to this, write this down on a piece of paper if you have it. Do not do like I did. I was going to law school up until I graduated. And I was like, man, I didn't know you had to do all this. I didn't know nothing about the LSAT. I didn't know none of this. So I'm like, I might need to go to grad school, then go to law school. So start looking for grad schools your sophomore year. Look into it and be like, hey, I need to figure out what grad school I'm going to. Fortunately, God blessed me and I got accepted to an institution after school. But definitely do that. definitely look at colleges. And even if you think you can't apply and make it, hey, God can work miracles. I'm telling you, I wasn't supposed to be at the school I'm at now. I waited to the last minute. And the last advice, enjoy it. Enjoy your senior year, because like Patricia, excuse me, said, it'll go by so fast, and you have bills, you'll have life to happen. So just enjoy your last year. I know I did. Shoot, I ain't saying go to no party in there, but hey, go spend time with your friends, because you might not see them for a long time, or go spend time with your teachers, your former teachers, the lunch ladies, the custodians. Hey, cause them the people that really looked out for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. And just enjoy it. Take pictures, take videos, do everything you can. If you want to join an organization, join. If you want to, you know, do something, do it. Cause that's your last year. Just and for the freshmen, I say be prepared for hard work and dedication, because you at the beginning, and that's where the work really begins. Cause if you mess up your freshman year, it's kind of hard to come back. I'm not discouraging anybody, because hey, I'm the one who can't talk. My freshman year, I almost flunked out of college, and it wasn't due to me not going to class. I had took so many classes my freshman year. Not like I need to say this. Don't take 18 credit hours. Please don't. I did that my freshman year, and I literally was on academic probation the second semester. Don't do it. Take 12, learn college, learn your professors, so you know which teachers not to take and which teachers to take. Definitely have upperclassmen friends, so you can know, like I just said, what the do's and do not. So you might have a teacher on your schedule, and they might be like, "Hey man, don't take that teacher. I'm telling you, that teacher right there gonna have you going insane." And they could be like, "Take this teacher instead." And man, you can be with your counselors, like constantly go to their office. I know I did constantly go to their office and be like, hey, what's the best route for me? Because your counselors, they've been there, done that as well. They can give you advice that nobody on that campus can give you, because they see it through many other students, what the routes to go and what not to go. That's my advice to y'all. And to graduate, I don't care how hard it is. I don't care if you have to stay an extra year. I had to stay an extra year. I don't care if you have to change your major. I had to change my major. I'm a walking testimony. I don't care if you scared to move out of your hometown. I moved out of my home state. I was 3.5 hours away. Do it. God got you. If he lead you there, like they say, if God put you there, he won't leave you. Now, the
And that's
word
so
said he will not leave or forsake you. So the next one is health and wellness. Now, this is a big topic. So how would you relate health and wellness to your HBCU experience?
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, if you're not in athletics, well, what you know what? Actually, I take that back. So they are building an on-campus like mini, I guess, gym. So that should be helpful for people who not athletes. I know right now it's kind of limited. As far as if you want to work out, if you're not an athlete. Also we just changed food service providers, so I believe that'll be a big help for people who may be on like certain diets, whether they're pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, etc.,
Mm.
etc. But outside of that, like, don't get so consumed. Like, don't overwork yourself. Like, make sure you take mental health breaks for yourself, even if you just like want to get your feet done, or you just have a day where you just kind of unplug. I know sometimes it's so easy to like just overwork yourself to the point where you're burnt out, and nobody deserves to feel like that. Um, Definitely take time for yourself. Even if you got to cut off your phone, deactivate social medias, it's important to keep a healthy state of mind.
Yeah, that's some great advice. And I would like to add to that, because me and mental health in college was not good friends. So my advice for you is, like Trista said, take a break. One of the things that I used to do is, I was in band, so I really couldn't take a break, but I find ways to do it. So, the days we didn't have, a game, or we didn't have practice, I would just not do anything. Like, I'll catch up on my work, and I'll just relax, watch Netflix, stuff like that. And even when we did have games, or I did have a busy day, before practice, I'd take a break, didn't do nothing, took a nap, talked to my family, did something like that. So that'd be a great thing. And if you have a counseling session or counseling services, excuse me, go to them and really vent to them, because they are there to help you. You can't get help if you don't go there. So,
Mm-hmm.
definitely get help. And I understand you can't tell everybody your business. Go to God. You
Mm-hmm.
know, God is he ain't gonna tell nobody. And if he do, it's to help you. So, definitely do that as well. And don't don't overload yourself with too much work. Meaning, if you know you can't take 18 credit hours, don't take it. If you know you can't, if you know this friend is causing you to detach yourself from your goal in school, hey, sometimes like Patricia said earlier, you ain't gonna be with the same people you started with. You're not. It's
Or
people, and I'm just yeah. Excuse what you said.
I said true story.
Right, 'cause it's gonna be some people, and I'm just gonna be transparent because this could help somebody who's in college or thinking about going to a HBCU or just a college in general. Um, some of the people like I went to school with, some of them still in school, some of them didn't graduate. Like my freshman year, I never forget my freshman year. We had over, I want to say 2,000 freshmen or somewhere close to that. Some it was up there. It was up there.
Whoa.
Yeah, I went to a big HBCU the first time, and the people who I started with, most of them left when I left.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I just started seeing people who I was close with leave. I'm like, you ain't there no more. They was like, no, I went to this school, this school, this. So some people gonna transfer, some people gonna flunk out. Now you gonna see somebody one semester, next semester they gone. So don't get too attached to people. That's what I'm trying to say. Because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you in college for yourself and for your future. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let nobody get you into such a bind that you leave school or you don't concentrate because of them. That's part of your mental health too. Because if they stressing you out, you're not gonna be able to think straight. And then next thing you know, you flunking classes. You can be a straight A student, get stressed out, be a F student. I done seen it. I'm telling you. So we touched on internships, and I never asked you your opinion on it or your advice for them. So what is your advice for internships, the do's and the don't?
Uh, do not do not be afraid to take internships in different fields, but
Mhm.
definitely try to get an internship every year. Internship, externship, mentorship, whatever it is, try to get some type of experience under your belt every summer. So I've been like me myself, I've tried to do something every summer. I think my freshman year, that summer I did like a mentorship with IBM. This summer I did like a couple of things. I did like a music externship, and I also did a internship, a local internship in Jacksonville for a tech company. And so I say that so that if you have experience in different fields, not only one, that'll open up more doors for you, like as far as grad school or possible jobs, but also you'll get a better feel of, okay, I like this, okay, I don't like this. Also, not every dollar is a good dollar. Don't try to chase things just because they pay well, because then you may be somewhere that you hate, but you try to force yourself to stay just because of the money. Um, if you do something you love, like the money gonna come. So don't chase the dollar, because every dollar ain't a good dollar.
Exactly, exactly. So my next question is peer pressure. This is a big thing in college. So I'm gonna let you go since you currently in college and it could be some more stuff going on that I don't even know about. So go on to give your advice on peer pressure.
I think peer pressure is real in every stage of life. Every school you went to, from elementary to middle to high, but in college, it's crazy. But at the same time, by the time you come to college, you kind of know who you are as a person, and so
Mhm.
I would say, like, stand on who you are. Like, if you're one type of way, or if you believe in certain morals, don't let anybody untalk you out of those morals. Like, if you know you
Mhm.
believe in God, and this and that, like, don't let somebody just talk you out of this and that just for a good feel or a couple of moments or whatever, because you're gonna regret it, and deep down you're gonna know that you're not happy. Like, don't jeopardize your happiness to make somebody else happy, because in the end you're gonna be unhappy, and then you're gonna regret it.
Right, right. That was one of the peer pressures that I faced was when I attended the PWI school, and it was people telling me not to go back to HBCU. They was like, "Don't go back, man. Don't you see what you have here? Like, why you want to go back?" And I was like, "Man, I want to play in band. I want to play at your fraternity. I want to, just do what my ancestors, fought for. They fought for them schools and they fought to have an education. And not saying you can't go to a PWI, you can. They have great institutions. Don't get me wrong, but like me personally, I wanted to attend that ever since I was little. I grew up in the city with a HBCU in it, actually, so I was around it all the time. So I just felt like I was literally at home again. And I didn't listen to those people. I was like, man, I'm finna go back. And I ended up going back, had the best experience, got some of the best connections. And man, I even noticed it. Like you're a part of the HBCU family. Like I came back home, people like, oh, you went to Waters. I heard at Waters. And they went to HBCU, and it just like you can really network off of going to an HBCU. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Like just think about just by you going to a college, you don't even have to go to no big school. You can go to a smaller school like me and Patricia did, and they still have the same love. Like I met somebody who went to Alabama State. And he was like, "Oh, you went to Waters? We played against them back in the day, and we was chopping it up." And he gave me some advice that I could use. And I met another person. They went to the local school that I went, that I'm from, and they was like, "Hey, you could do it this way." And she ended up turning into my mentor. But I touch on to that more in the next section. So the next one is a big one that I feel like everybody should learn is the financial burdens of going to college. Because some people have bad things to say and some people have good things. So what's your opinion on that?
GPA equal dollars.
Come on.
That's one of the first things I learned, like once I got here. Contrary to belief, like a high GPA, the higher your GPA, the more money that you can like apply for and actually realistically earn. But alongside with your GPA involvement. So that's why I always try to stress for people to get involved. Like it don't even have to be Supermate. It don't have to be SGA. It don't have to be Roy Court. Just like service orgs. Like for instance, how we have the Rotaract Club, NAACP, NCW, just like different service orgs or like volunteering. To just better help you get more grants and scholarships. Like I'll be honest, I've been blessed to have earned at least one scholarship each school year since I've been here. And so that just helps to reduce the amount of loans that you have to take out. Also, it's other opportunities to, you could do work study. You also could try, to be a resident aide. It's other things on campus to help offset some of the fees that you would incur while being here. But the key is to get involved for sure.
Exactly. And for those who about to graduate this year, my advice to you is to save up some money. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's hard out here. Even with the college degree, it's still hard because you still have to put in the work. At the end of the day, yes, you got a college degree, but hey, you still got to put in the work. Like think about Patricia, she's still doing things in the summer internships. She put in that work. That maybe can be an advantage when she graduates. She don't have to save no money. She can already have a job in Atlanta or Jacksonville or Miami. Like you never know. So like just save your money up. And so cause me personally, it took me 6 months to a year for me to find a job. And that time I just was stacking money, finding jobs, stacking money. So definitely do that as well. And even before you graduate, see if you can find some grants. I'm pretty sure they got grants for college graduates. I just hadn't looked into it, but I'm pretty sure they got them. So just look it up and see if you can get that. Also seeking your school hire you that you at. I've seen people do that. I've seen people graduate and come right back next week as an employee. So definitely talk to your school and be like, hey, I just got out of college. I don't have much money. Can you help me with with me to get some money so I can start paying these student loans? So I can get my foot into the door. You might not stay there for 6 months to a year, but hey, it's a start. And the one thing that I did learn is you don't want to be in a burn financially. So even if it's a job that you don't want after college, still take it because you can use that to bump you up. And because when I first got home, I worked at a grocery store, and I was so miserable. I was like, I got a college degree working at a grocery store, but I learned I needed that because it humbled me for one, and for two, I still got money, and now I can use some of that money to pay my financial aid, my student loans back. Excuse me. So definitely pay back your student loans as well, people, because those people ain't playing with you. But Let's get into balancing your academic life and your social life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I as far as the scale on that, my academic life do win, but at the same time, don't get me wrong, I do socialize. It's just some of the scenes just not gonna be your scene. So for me, that's
Right.
kind of the case. But at the same time, I'm not all work and no play. It's definitely good to have a nice balance of the two, but don't ever let it be all play and no work. You're gonna be in
Exactly.
a bad boat. But make sure that you live. It's college. So
Mm-hmm.
experience some of the experiences that college has to offer, because you're not going to find them in other spaces in life.
Right. She pretty much said it all. People just have your academic more than your social life, but hey, at least have a social life so you can. That implies to what we are talking about earlier, internships and networking. That's part
Create.
of your college experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Create your opportunities. They ain't gonna happen if you don't create them. Hey, just better start talking to people. That could be your future boss, or they can know somebody who knows somebody to get you a job. Never know.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want to talk to you about is Greek life. And I know you're not part of no fraternity or sorority, but I could speak on this because it is part of the HBCU experience. I personally joined the fraternity. I joined Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. We the youngest out of the D9, but hey, we the strongest. Let's go. But the reason that I joined is because I always wanted to join the fraternity. First of all, let me say that I always wanted to join one, but I never knew which one to join. I was just looking at them like, okay, I like they stroll, I like they stroll. And I realized when I got to college, it was a big difference. It's not about strolling, it's about okay, who put in most work on the yard, who doing stuff actually on the yard, who got the highest GPAs, who doing stuff like that. Cause I wasn't a party person. I didn't go to parties at all. So I'm like, okay, I know I can't go this way with it. I have to figure out which way I want to go. And don't let nobody talk you into it. If you don't want to do Greek life, don't do it. If you do and you know what you want to do, don't let nobody deter you from that. A lot of people ask why I joined IOTA since we are the smallest, and that's because the people on my campus they did what they do, as the old folks say. They put in the work. I always saw them giving back to the students, having cookouts. Most people, you don't see that. You don't see even not even Greek related, but you don't see people like giving you food randomly. So like they were just giving you a play. Hey, you want to play? They'll talk to you, and the sweethearts who was at the school at the time, they would talk to me and they'll be like, hey, just how college going and stuff like that. So, I really want to join. And I learned the history. Make sure you guys learn the history before you join the organization, because it might not be something that, like Patricia said earlier, agree with your morals. So don't change them. So definitely find out what fits you. That's my opinion on Greek life. And my last question for you, Patricia, is if you had to go back to your freshman year, what would you change differently from what you did?
Oh, I don't regret a lot. Um, wow, it's not a lot. I did kind of good my freshman year. I don't really regret much. Maybe hang out a little bit more. Like I said, like sometimes I get so like zoned in, focused, because I also work. That I don't really be hanging out, so I probably would have went a little bit more sociable. But outside of that, I don't really regret nothing from my freshman year at all.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a blessing. Trust me, that's a blessing. But what's your willing and able moment? And what I mean by your willing and able moment is what was the moment that defined you? What's the moment that you overcame something and you was like, yeah, I'm at the right place. I finally see what God's showing me now.
Something that um. So I lost my freshman election coming in right in the
Mm.
fall, and like stuff happened and whatever, and I ended up becoming the class president that spring semester. And so it was like I knew coming in that I wanted to serve in SGA, but when I did lose, it was a sting, because I was like,
Mm.
dang, like, because I knew before coming here that I wanted to be SGA president one day. So when I lost my freshman election, it was like a real big blow. But then, like, looking back, I saw that, you know what I'm saying? It was just a test to see how committed I was for real. Like, was it just about a title? or did I really, want to come and put in work? And so when I lost and I still worked and I still was like faithful and I still served, like I think that really showed a lot about my heart and who I was as a person. Like it was never about titles. It was never about like the clout, quote unquote, that comes with it. It was about me really doing what I felt like I was supposed to do. And so when I finally got the title, it was like, okay, yeah, I got the title, but okay, the title, not a title, matches what I'm already doing. And so that was like a good feeling.
Man, that's a blessing. I actually remember that. That was my senior year. So when I seen you running for SGA president, I was like, oh yeah, she got that. Next thing you know, she got out. I was like, man, that's what's so I was so happy for you. I was like, man, that's so I remember when she was a freshman, doing her thing. So my advice to you is to keep going, keep grinding, keep, accomplishing your goals in life, keep doing what God tell you to do. And before you know it, 2024 will be here and you'll be walking across that stage and you'll be on the other side.
Crazy.
Okay, so what advice, what question do you have for me? This is the last and final question. I done said that about 15 times, but this is the last and final question.
How does it feel to be an alum?
Ooh, it feels good. It feels good because you see, well, first of all, with me personally, I see my school grow after I left, and that's always a blessing. That's a good thing. And I also seen that, how can I put this? It's rewarding because anytime somebody asks you, do you have a college degree? You can say yes. Anytime you walk in your room and you see your college degree just cinder, like some days, like I said earlier, I just stared. I'd be like, man, I did it. And one of the things that I learned by being an alumni is you got to help other people get to you where you were went, or excuse me, where you are. And having a younger sibling, he look up to me sometimes in the college, so he'd be like, he about to go to college in August, so he'd be like, hey, what you do this in college? How you do that? And as an alumni of a college, I can be like, well, you do this and that, and you help yourself out and you help other people out, and it's just amazing because you can network with that piece of paper. Is like a pass to another side of society that most people don't get to. So you can just be like in a room and somebody could be like, okay, whoever have a college degree, come over here, we got a job for you, and boom, you can get in the door just by doing that. Me personally, and I'm gonna make a testimony video about this, just by me having a college degree, I went into a whole nother field. And with my degree, it helped me. So being an alumni, it has its perks. And it has its down moments too. Cause sometimes you want to go back to college. Cause you be like, oh man, I gotta pay bills, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But overall, it's amazing. And like I said earlier, take pictures, take videos. Sometimes I sit back and look at videos I had in college, and I'd be like, "Wow, man, that was some fun times." And I got to show my little cousins. I was like, "Hey, this is what college is like," and I actually get to show them, and they'd be like, "Wow, you do your thing in college." I want to go to college now, and you just see yourself again in people, so you get a chance to help people. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again, Miss Patricia. Y'all clap it up for her. Clap it up for her. Definitely look out for her because she's gonna be doing some great things in life and she's gonna be doing some big things. Definitely remember her name, Miss Patricia Johnson. Thank you again for coming on to the Willing and Able show. And you already know what time it is, people. Y'all have a blessed, positive, productive day. Peace.